Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another round of the Azure Dreams Rock Me to the Top. It's 3, I think, right?
Yes, it's the third one.
And it's going to be another exciting match once we get these two underway. We've got DamagedPlushie versus Sustainna. I'm Lady Demi.
And I'm Shiny 7180. Back from the mountains.
Looks good. We'll be getting these underway. As soon as we get the runners counted down, their seeds are good. So, to explain the game for those of you tuning in who are not aware of it, Azure Dreams is a PlayStation 1 roguelike. They will have a monster tower full of 40 randomly generated floors to clear. They will have an hour per round to go as far as they can, as fast as they can in a single beat. Whoever gets to the highest floor or the highest floor first in case of a tie is the winner of that round.
Yes. And this is kind of this is going to be a very vanilla-like game. The Rock Me to the Top was our first tournament format, and we have a couple quality of life changes because this is done doing with our randomizer, which was made by a programmer. And basically, it's going to skip the intro, so you're not going to hear a baby crying. It's going to skip the introduction with Jorda, and they're going to be outside of Ko's house, like on Sustainna's side, who's re-entering, so he is in the proper placement. Time starts upon first movement because this game is extremely, what's it called?
RNG heavy.
Yes. It doesn't matter.
RNG all the time, every time. And so, for the sake of making runs a little bit more runner-friendly, the timer starts right outside of Ko's house. And for these tournaments, we just allow the game to start right outside of Ko's house. Let me make sure that DamagedPlushie has seen that the seed is good.
Yeah. She might be looking at the wrong channel. Sad Night blesses the seeds, so we all know who to blame if everything goes wrong.
Yep.
So basically what this boils down to is this is going to be, like I said, very vanilla experience compared to the random toolkit, which was the previous tournament where it was like a random monster, random 5 items. One of the eggs that was given to you could be any monster, including evolved monsters. This one is basically the any percent of our leaderboards. It's not as exciting as other things, but at the same time,
it's pretty exciting. Like we've seen in the first couple of matches of this tournament, that this is surprisingly hard once you get back to vanilla formatting. But the random toolkit might have made things easier a lot of the time.
That was not the general consensus. It was the general how many 40 floor clears we had in the random toolkit. It's one of those things where is Plushie gonna? There you go. It was one of those things where it's like every third match had like 2 or 3 44 clears in them and stuff like that. It was always within an hour, and I was thinking of this one as well because I'm like, hey, let's just go back to Rock Me to the Top. I was really considering lowering the time to 50 minutes or something like that and just like push it so it's a little bit faster, but it doesn't need it. Like vanilla is actually harder to play than, getting a really powerful monster or just a bad monster in general. Like you don't know what you're gonna get. Everyone hates dreaming.
Right.
But like at least with this one, you got Queenie, who is trash, but you have Queenie. We're just waiting for DamagedPlushie here. Give me a sec. I'll just send her a quick message. She might not have Discord open. Or are you doing that right now, Demi?
I am sending another ping in the last channel when we know she was using. I will otherwise just get increasingly messaging about this. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Also,
DamagedPlushie is a relatively new runner and streamer. This is only her second match. She did absolutely fantastic in the first one.
mm-hmm.
So it's going to be thrilling, but there's going to be a few little rough edges.
So what's the game Azure Dreams? It is where you stand outside a house for a while. Azure Dreams is a PS1 roguelike mystery dungeon style game where basically everything everything is randomized, but like I mentioned before, we do have a randomizer of 80rando.com. If you have a bin file, you can put in the bin file and do all sorts of things. And the one thing which is really, really nice about it is programmer found a way to basically fix the tower, which is normally generated via 3 RNG codes that change every frame. It was basically impossible initially to ever play the same tower twice, but thanks to programmer and, well, his genius, truthfully, we were able to start doing fixed tower seeds.
And that is what we will be seeing here today. So if one of the runners gets a trap, that same trap will exist, but they might not necessarily step on it the same. And that can have a little bit of a change in results. It is, I think, a really nice, clean way of delineating the difference between two runners. Because sometimes you can have a good tower, and sometimes you can have a really mean tower, and sometimes you can have both simultaneously in the same tower. That's always fun.
Yeah. Also, you can also always have hardware issues if you run the game on console like I do during a marathon and have it teleport to Sonic 1. That was great. Like, this game is so fun. Yeah, this game is fun.
There are things that can happen here that probably does not happen with other games, where one can fail 2 runs, have hardware issues on a third, and then make it underestimate. That is what one likes to see.
I'm so happy you and Darcis were there for commentary. But anyway, it looks like our runners are going to be going. They are getting the countdown now. We're just waiting for, obviously, stream delay and stuff like that. Do you want to explain the 5 items they're going to be getting?
Okay, they will be getting 5 items plus their little starting monster, Cune. Cune is a fairly reliable, run-of-the-mill, definitely usable, but not terribly exciting fire monster. This has an elemental triangle. You can go fire beats wind, wind beats water, water beats fire. And fire, I think, is like the middle useful of the 3. The elements. It's not the least useful, that's wind. And I think we've all come to, as a community, an agreement that water is most useful, but fire is good enough.
Yeah,
we will be getting...
No, finish first, sorry. Oh.
They will be getting a copper sword, a wooden shield, a medicinal herb, a 5-use fireball spell ball, and a single egg for the weakest monster, the Palumpa.
Yes. And I see in chat, what is Azure Dreams about? Basically, the story has been skipped from the start. What it boils down to is your father was a very good monster tamer, kept going to the tower, supplying your family with money and all this other stuff. And here, okay, this is a side note. This is the first floor with the randomizer. Everything's in order. There's an elevator. You go up. You don't have to listen to Queenie talk. It's great.
It is a wonderful thing of life.
Yeah. But what it basically boils down to is it's your 15th birthday. You are now officially a man in the city. And you go into the tower and you try to basically find out what happened to your father.
And also earn a lot of money, which you can use to build up your house, build up the town, and revitalize it, and date girls.
Yes.
And that is, like, all stuff we're not dealing with. This is just climb the tower. Maybe do something about what happened to your father. We'll see. It's not very likely, because this is intended to be the core game of the dungeon crawling elements. And so it's intended to take you quite a few trips, take you a long time. They've got 1 shot per round, so let's see how this... Ooh, Acid Rainball. That is really nice.
Yeah,
that is a full clear spell ball of an entire room. It is great.
I forgot. DamagedPlushie plays with the HUD entirely.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky.
Commentator-wise, yes. Normally, health is a resource in this game. If you can take a hit and deal 2 back, it's worth it. We already have our first instance of a blind trap, which affects the player, not the character.
I mean, it affects the character insofar as the player is also affected. We are assuming that Ko is not seeing things that you, the player, are. Ko is not seeing things that you, the player, are not. Though now that I say that, that sounds actually like a really interesting concept for a game. Or for an element of a game. Yeah, you just get really meta with it. That is my jam.
Yeah. Also, I do want to point out, any percent does not mean 1 tower clear. A lot of our runners can do that. Deme has done it. I have done it. I know a lot of us, and a lot of the runners in chat right now have done it. But at the same time, if anyone wants to learn this game, we have a wonderful Discord. If anyone is a fan of the game, wants to join, do whatever, feel free to. You don't have to be a speedrunner to join. But if you want to speedrun the game, if you do it in 18 entries, congratulations, you beat the game better than 99% of the people who play this game casually. If it's done one sitting, it's done one sitting.
Maybe count that as 99 people who even cleared the game casually, to be honest. Because this game expects you to go for quite a while. Ooh, yes. Scarlet Wand. This is a very generous tower we've got here. That is the best wand at this point in the game. Later, the ideal situation would change to a stream wand, assuming that they can get everything for water cube and strats, but this will give them both a wand bonus to their mixture magic and a sane element bonus to their mixture magic, and those stack, so it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. We see here DamagedPlushie doing switch the audio here to Sustainna side here, but we see AI1 coming out from DamagedPlushie. Me and Septic, there's a frog trap too. Me and Septic actually took Plushie aside before the tournament matches started, actually was coaching her. And honestly, it's amazing to see the progression between that and now. Like, the movement's a lot better. Like, the no HUD still bugs the heck out of me. Like, that's still gonna be... Like, I need to know how much health Ko has. Like, I'm a very cautious player, but not having that up there just really bugs me, but you see more of the map.
It is a trade-off. It's an interesting one, and not one you see often, because not seeing how much HP you have is scary.
Yes. Because, again, HP is a resource. It does regenerate. I think it's like once every 8 turns you get back 1, or once every 16 or something like that. You can skip turns by holding triangle and circle in the PlayStation 1 control. That's a second Scarlet Wand. Okay.
All right, then. The game really wanted to make sure they had that. Mm-hmm. I have, by the way, linked the Azure Dreams Discord and chat for those of you who want to check it out. There is also a Game Boy Color version of this game. Less town, more tower, basically.
Mm-hmm. They have a basement.
We also have a community there. They have a basement. This game does have a little bit more dungeon than you might think. It is sort of half finished, maybe like, let's say 80% finished, and tucked away within the game's code that the randomizing de-randomizer allows you to unlock. You could also do it with cheat codes. It's very cool, very weird. Would recommend it if you're interested in this game, just to look at it. It's neat.
Yeah, it's also very, very punishing as well, because everything's unidentified and all sorts of weird stuff. And already floor 5 for Sustainna. I think Sustainna's actually just going up the floors because of the Scarlet Wand. I think trying to get the early lead is probably on Sustainna's mind right now, but at the same time, like, you have the best wand in the game at this point for Queenie. Like, if you were to change into water, you need a stream wand. But what can we think of the spiritual successor? The Game Boy Color version is great. Anyway, Tao's Adventure.
I would call Tao's Adventure less a spiritual successor and more like an undead successor.
Yeah, okay. The general consensus in the community is we very much dislike Tao's adventure, not because of it itself as a game, but just going from Azure Dreams to Tao's adventure. There's like a lot of stuff they changed to the point where it wasn't really the same game anymore. But in itself, is it a fun game? If you enjoy it, enjoy it. We're not going to demean people for it unless you're Hextree. Hextree is supposed to finish it someday, but whatever. But we're gonna see possibly some Maneva juking from DamagedPlushie here, because the Manevas have a weird blind spot on them. Perfectly done.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of nuances we're not going to be able to explain in commentary, but we do have the resources available on our Discord, and me and Lady we'll try our best to talk about different things. Like, just to touch on the Maneva's vision. Oh, here we go. DamagedPlushie took the lead there, floor 6.
Yep, and this is where your average runner is going to want to start really putting on the speed, because these floors are basically all water monsters for the next little while, and that's bad. They're also all pretty tough, and that's also bad.
Yeah, except balloons. Balloons are probably the one good source of experience you can get on floor 6. After that, they disappear and they get replaced with U-boats, I believe, until floor 9.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's going to be horrible from here on in. And honestly, this game is extremely mean, because this is, again, basically vanilla without the tutorial that's going on, because it just saves like 3 minutes. It's not... Like, if you're... we can do the fixed tower seed, that's fine, but at the same time, you don't need to have Queenie tell you that your house is a dirty hovel every single time. He's very mean. But when it comes down to it...
It's very rude.
Yeah, Queenie is a very, very bad monster. That's why I name him Trash every time. But when it comes down to it, though, is this game... The second frog trap for DamagedPlushie. I'm going to keep track of those now. You don't want Queenie to defend you in a room when you're a frog. Because... Okay, good. When you're a frog, or if you're paralyzed, or if you're asleep, Queenie, or your pet's AI, will change to 4, which will approach and attack enemy, even if you don't want them to. And when you're on the water floors, or if you're versing just tougher enemies in general, or you're a little under-leveled, it can get extremely dangerous for Queenie, because Queenie is your source of damage. Without it, you cannot... survive. Ho is one of the weakest things in existence. So...
Weaker things, frogs are weaker.
Yep.
I've listed all the weaker things. Maybe a level 1 Palumpa.
Yes, the Palumpas I think you can naturally take out if you don't have any assistance.
But I don't think you can take out a noise without any equipment.
I'd actually be quite curious about that, yeah.
I feel like I've seen this happen on a blind stream that I follow of this game, and I think Ko dies at level 1 up against a noise. I think that's how that goes. Without a sword or shield. Though at least the advantage of doing it in one climb, besides the time save, is that at least you know you've got that wooden shield and copper sword, if nothing else.
So I will ask for chat's assistance, because DamagedPlushie does not have a hub. If we somehow mess up on which floor, let's say DamagedPlushie were to die at, or to finish at, or whatever, please let us know if we're... Like, someone just keep track in case we can't keep track. It's actually really annoying when the runners don't use it for the commentary, because again, the way it works is they have an hour time limit. It's whoever gets the highest floor first. So all the floors look the same in relative bulk. Oh, there's a go-up trap that DamagedPlushie is going to take up.
Mm-hmm. There are minor differences, so must be on at least... Okay, yeah, 8. Here we are. Background
there we go.
Switch, very nice and convenient.
Yeah, and the thing is, the layout of the floors will stay the same roughly every 3 to 4 floors. It will also get more metallic as it will go up to the very top, but there'll be this weird lava lamp section around floor 25, which I've always really enjoyed. It's my favorite section of the floors.
It's very nice. I kind of like Viper Town aesthetically. I like things that are very green and natural and organic looking, even though this is, of course, the same health tower that it always is. Heck tower, there we go. Anyway, let's see now. I think Sustainna will be joining DamagedPlushie on floor 8 over here.
Yep.
So far, they haven't had too many terrible rooms. Like floor 20 or so is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, there's also a nice ice rock ball for DamagedPlushie, just to distract the Miniva, because fighting 2 water creatures at the same time is problematic. Now you're going to see this is the cost of using the ice rock wall, or the ice rock ball for the wall of ice. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's going to attack, and then until it's dead, which has like 200 HP or something like that, you're going to be having a little bit more of a delay. DamagedPlushie needs to there you go, and then I think actually she just did it wrong.
Yep, it looks like.
So
looks like she's going
to
have to think of a new plan, and here it's going to be chucking Kyun at Manoiva.
Chucking Kyun or Queenie. Sorry, me and Lady Deme will pronounce the little blue guy differently. I pronounce it Queenie. Kyun is, I think, how Lady Deme says it. There's a lot of different versions. But when it comes down to it, it's extremely annoying. Okay, 13 health left. I think those are only duplicates now, so I think that's more than fine to... Yeah, that's fine. The Minivas have a special ability of just duplicating, and that is a horrible, horrible thing to see in front of Sustainna. No one ever wants to see... Okay, are you doing the guarantee... Okay, guaranteed damage. There we go.
Yeah, U-boats are scary, scary fellas. They hit like at least 1 truck. I'm going to eventually make a proper scale of trucks to monsters ratio. And I think that like at least 1 truck, they always get the first hit. There's nothing you can do about that unless you are very clever and tricksy and have some plan here. And they're just generally nasty.
Mm-hmm. We see here DamagedPlushie is taking her time on thinking out what to do. And this is the nice thing about Azure Dreams. Even though this has been featured in like action RPG marathons, we're not an action RPG, it's a turn-based. You move, enemy moves, some enemies move 2 times. There's slow traps, there's fast traps, there's fast seeds and stuff like that. Oh, Brid, that's a rarity. No one really uses...
You don't see Kyun's own natural spell that often, largely because it costs a lot of MP.
Yes, out of 100, I think it takes up, either 8 or 12, if I recall. So, that's a big chunk.
Cost effective. It's a dire emergency situation, but it is always handy to remember that you have even things you normally wouldn't want to use.
Yeah. We see here that DamagedPlushie is going to be going for a little bit of U-boat dancing. Probably going to have to pick up Queenie or move Queenie on...
Gonna have to be real careful here.
Yeah, picking up Queenie is dangerous at the same time as efficient, because you can obviously keep the U-boat at bay. Because U-boats always love to have the first attack when they're submerged.
Right, and they also don't want to share a tile with you, and therefore DamagedPlushie going to bag Kyun, which unfortunately removes that handy space she'd created. Goes for the pickup, it does not work. She is not having the pickup luck that we saw in her first match today, and that is a shame.
You see her Sustainna is powering up. I think that's an iron shield. Okay, so that's not the worst shield. Oh, there goes the U-boat. Goodbye.
Yep.
Why? Okay, okay. There's a height advantage as well. You can see Sustainna doing quite a bit of damage. Not many people will willingly pick a fight with a U-boat still, if you even have a height advantage on your first entry. No one likes to fight U-boats. They're bad.
They're really unpleasant.
Yeah.
They're just nasty fellas.
I think Sustainna is now in the lead at floor 10, I believe.
I believe you are correct, and that's not a pleasant room to spawn in.
No, but they do have an acid rain ball, so if DamagedPlushie were to keep it, this is why the runners can't view each other's streams as well, because it is a fixed seed tower, and you don't want to have... Okay, the U-boat went towards Queenie. That's good.
Very nice.
One hit. But yeah, the acid rain ball will clear a room of monsters for the most part, unless they're really, really high wind monsters. But if you're relatively the right level, you should be able to clear a room. So that, and also the Scarlet Wand, the next match you'll see after this, if they don't get one, you'll see the damage differences. The fact that they got this as their first free weapon of the seed is kind of nuts.
Really nuts. Ooh, egg. That could be some fun stuff.
Floor 10, that's one below a Garuda potential, right?
Probably.
Because if I recall correctly, I think Garuda can only appear on 11 to 17 or something like that. We have a list somewhere. I've never bothered to look at it. Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Muga. The Garuga himself.
Yeah,
U-boat would
could
be
a
wonderful.
U-boat, could be a clown. Either of those are pretty solid monsters.
We're gonna see now. Sustainna is hatching it.
Oh, that is interesting. That's gonna be a bit of a time sink, and there are certain monsters that Sustainna might not be able to really make full use of it with, unless he finds the blue collar on floor 12, and so we're gonna see how that works out. It is a clown.
Okay, clown's not that bad. Also,
that's pretty good.
DamagedPlushie realizing you can't go diagonals when there's different heights involved.
Elevation is one of those tricky things in this game.
Mm-hmm. Or like ours with Troll with bow guns and stuff like that as well, because... Oh, we get the pickup.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Yeah, you always have to move at least one space when you pick up a monster, because it will change the direction they're looking, and when you throw them, they will start continuing to move in that direction.
That was a mistake. DamagedPlushie was spending turns to try and get some more HP, but it let the U-boat sneak up on Kuhn that was still hanging out a little bit further away. Now we're going into that room. Kuhn has not a lot of HP. This could get a little unpleasant.
And honestly, like, again, probably the right decision to straight up leaving. Like, you could get a lot of experience using the Acid Rain Ball, but at the same time, the Acid Rain Ball, if you're in a dire need of a get-out-of-jail-free card, is exactly what you want. And that's a Dreamin'. Okay, just pick up the Dreamin', sure. I was gonna say, Dreamin's free experience.
Dreamin's free a lot of things. So, well, might as well. These floors are relatively safe to explore if you compare them with the previous ones. And so we might see a bit more time spent on these couple of floors here.
Actually, I do know for a fact when I was doing the marathon prep for Questing for Glory, I sent my notes to Sustainna about how to climb a tower efficiently. And I'm pretty sure Sustainna is following my notes, which is explore floor 10 because that's before griffins appear. You can kind of get away with a little bit more, some experience grinding, get roughly level 9, which they are. And then push up to floor 17. So you're probably going to see Sustainna just booking it afterwards.
It looks like DamagedPlushie lost Kuhn, or otherwise just bagged for safekeeping because of that low HP. We're gonna see pretty soon how that worked. I don't think she picked up the clown egg. I could be wrong on that one.
Okay, this is where the player difference will come in effect. Do we see... Oh, Queenie was bagged. There you go.
Okay.
This is where player experience and just the variety of gameplay you'll see from different... No two runners will play alike. I've never seen Queenie bag so many times in a match than DamagedPlushie. I'll straight up say that. I know one of our former runners, Captain Luigi, only used to carry Queenie. Never ever changed him off AI won. Because if they hit a warp trap, they would go and they would never lose Queenie. Oh, and there. Oh, that's a trap room.
That's a trap room. Goodbye.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way the RNG works in this, let's say DamagedPlushie went left and Sustainna went right. Traps would then be acting differently, and monsters would be acting differently. But if they were to do the exact same thing for like both move up, both move left, both attack the dreamer that spawned in the room, and both happen to be the same level, the same results would happen. So the second you see them go left and right, or even up left, up right, or whatever small, no one likes to see a griffin. At least it's sleeping. But you'll start to see a big difference when it comes to it.
Activity issues. So if I fade in and out, that is what is going on there.
Okay. Yeah.
In the meanwhile, though, while things seem to have recovered back to normal, there is that blue collar. I wouldn't be surprised if Sustainna fused that clown into Kuhn, getting double spell levels, getting a ranged mixture magic. Certainly, I think it would be the easiest. There we go. There's that use of the clown for its particularly nice abilities. In that way. DamagedPlushie checking to make sure that it's not a Mana Weaver, I think, but there isn't a Mana Weaver. That or just clearing inventory space, or both.
Yeah. So what's happened with the fusion there is a lot of monsters will actually have different traits on them. Queenie is unbrainwashable, so that means very niche. Those blooms on the water floors before could potentially brainwash your familiars, and they will attack you. Ooh, a holy bell, that's nice.
Yeah, that's one of those items that's really nice to have.
Yeah, not to get a jail-free card for a bad spawn. That's kind of what you want to see in for safety strats kind of thing. Oh, we're going to see Warp Trap with holding Queenie on DamagedPlushie side, which went to the...
Oh.
It's a random tile. It could be the same room. Let's try this again. There we go. And that's a Kraken in that room. And you're in the corner.
Not what you'd want, really. Krakens are one of those monsters that I think no one likes to fight.
Yeah.
They hit reasonably hard. They are electrified, so they're not really... So they will hit you back for counter damage pretty much all the time. It's just bad.
Also, the one thing that actually could be done is a lot of runners tend to use the ice rock ball to make the wall of ice. I keep messing it up. 1/8 chance there to distract the monsters when they're in front of them. If you were to lead them away from the exit, like if DamagedPlushie were to use it upright instead of there, and then lure the Kraken to it, then walk away, DamagedPlushie could have potentially got the bell and went out the north exit. So there's a lot of small things you can do to change how you play. A Leather Shield's not going to do much versus that Kraken Sustainna. And why are you fighting it? That's going to be a 3-shot. That's going to be a 3-shot as well. You better hope you don't miss.
Yeah, that's a scary situation I would not want to be in. Not friendly.
Okay, then finish it off with the Blaze Ball. Okay. That's still... Fee, my wife, and another runner of this game, will probably scream if she watches this VOD, saying, please turn the camera. For that reason. Vision is good.
Yep.
If you know what threats are coming up, you can deal with them. That is definitely something you don't want to see. The damage does increase when you're hitting a frog as well. They do have lower defenses. So you can still 3-shot the Kraken. The Krakens are honestly probably the most unbalanced monster in the game. They show up way too early for how strong they are. And they're paired also with Griffins as well, who can snipe you with Rise.
It's just a bad scene, man. Bad scene.
Again.
By the way, we did see one of my favorite little tricks on DamagedPlushie's side back there. Fighting a mural by throwing a wind seed at it to change its element to wind. I like doing that when you get the chance. It's not like a godsend. Oh, Sustainna hitting the warp trap alone. Luckily, did not landed right by the elevator, so that worked out. DamagedPlushie using bridge symbol.
I do know the DamagedPlushie is holding 2 pita fruits.
Okay, that would explain it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's going to burn through that MP like absolutely nuts.
Yes, actually, in chat, Vladimir Spider, there's actually a lot of glitches in this game. One of my favorite is using Telmina Fruit to make yourself immortal by using it while holding a Queenie above your head, feeding him the fruit, begging him, and then basically your tile immunity for the entire time. There's a lot of monsters which have more stat gains in their evolution or pre-evolutions. So new elves, bat and elves are the most common example. Ooh, a floor 15 egg.
That could be a Garuda, and that would change the very nature of this run.
Yes, you'll start seeing very risky play if that is the case. My guess is might be a troll. We don't know. But when it comes down to it, though, is some of the evolved monsters will get, let's say, 2 attack, but their pre-evolution only got 1 attack. So basically what you're going to see is some runners, they might take the opportunity to, once they get level 20, to start de-leveling the monster, which would then underflow their attack power, which basically makes your monster immortal, because you set them to AI 1, it's going to one-shot everything in the tower no matter what. Because the highest attack power you're going to casually get during a speedrun probably be like a level 20 whatever Arash spider, and that's still like 70 to 80 or something. Like they would have 250, and the spider can already one-shot or two-shot pretty much everything. So, ooh, it's a cursed leather shield. There's a decursed scroll, but there is the cursed status though.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard to get rid of. That can only be gotten rid of via a cure-all herb. The game does not tell you about it. It's going to lower accuracy and I think also dodge, since those are for the most part controlled by the same thing. It is a mule on Sustainna's side. That's not terrible, but it's not great either.
Yeah, you could use it to fuse and get the poison-proof trait, I believe, into Queenie and turn it to water.
Yeah, you'd lose that double spell level, though.
Yes, so it kind of... like it's honestly not worth it. I would probably just take it out with the blue collar and then just... the
occasional heal, a sacrifice.
No, I was just going to say just straight up just leave it in a room and just leave. And while everyone else also, like ice walls it.
That's an occasional sacrifice.
It happens a lot in my files when I find something I can't lift for AI1. Like if I get a noise, noise can't be picked up, like or something. It's as good as dead. Like I'm going to be sacrificing it to the greater good.
How many? Well, I think with a mule, there's also like it is a fairly renewable medicinal herb at the very least.
Yeah, so you can replenish the Newell's MP with herbs. It's one of the traits it has, and seeds. Lesser known one about Newell's. Both of them will restore it as much as a pita fruit. There's other monsters which, dragons and kids, both the same evolution tree. You can feed them anything made of metal, which would be the same as a pita fruit. And then there's my favorite monster, the Picket, which is a walking garbage disposal, which you just feed whatever you want. And if you have a fusion spell into it, it's unlimited. And I love it.
It is very nice in that regard. There is that mule egg on DamagedPlushie side. We might end up seeing a different outcome. Yeah, that makes sense. Checking to see if she wants to use it on anything else. Going to see it's a mule egg. We'll see if that she is interested in hatching it. Very nice.
All right. Well, the thing is, Newell is a good monster. Like it's not my play style. Yeah. I know for a fact if you were to, is it Newell? No, it's Arash. Turning it wind will give it the same spell as a hidden spell bloom, I believe, right? Which would then be the
I believe that is correct.
Which Sustainna in chat has the Orlando Bloom strategy of making a 100% paralysis chance.
Yeah, because that's a fun thing. There's also that sadly isn't super relevant to like a neural in particular, but it is another example of like a favored strategy that you might not see all the time. That is, I think, one of the fun things about Azure Dreams is not only do doing the same strategies sometimes not have the same results, but also there are sometimes strategies that you like to use, but you aren't going to get to use every single time. Ooh. So you have to be able to have at least a couple of ideas.
No. DamagedPlushie, there we go. Queenie will always try to walk to where you assign his AI to stand. If you are, unfortunately, if it's blocked, they will take one extra turn. DamagedPlushie sees basically a free lottery machine in front of her, being the Balrog. But the thing is, this game is extremely fun to play just because no two runs will ever be the same. And no two runners will have the same play style. So you have these tournaments set up where you will see drastically... You'll learn a lot by just doing commentary. From
Absolutely. I have learned most of what I know from commentary. Oh, looks like Sustainna is also going to get to play the random monster lottery. Gonna have to be a little bit careful. Barongs do hit pretty hard if you let them hit you, so you shouldn't let them hit you. You should just throw things at them. It takes up their turn. They will spit out a random item. They don't care about rarity, which is really fun.
I think is that supposed to be like a programming error? I think it was supposed to be...
It is a programming error. They do a check for rarity, but they check the rarity of the item they spit out, rather than like having it set to, it should be equal to the item they are taking in. But no, they can only spit out something as rare as what they're spitting at.
Okay, Sustainna getting greedy here. You move one space away before restoring its MP. Because you don't revive it, because it will have its free turn. You move one space away, throw a herb into it, give it the free MP so you can do one more thing, and then you throw the item into it to use up its MP, and then it will move forward.
A flat scroll! That is one of those rare items that you can only get DamagedPlushie using a pita fruit on it. DamagedPlushie really wants to play.
Yeah, this is the fun thing, is like, if you were to get a roche fruit, this is, I think, the final floor that you can pull off a Garuda, right?
I think that is the case, yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, if you were to do that... Oh, got a wand. Oh, it's Widow. So like, if you got a roche fruit, then you change drastically the race. Like we pointed out before. That one monster briefly separated our leaderboard for any percent runs until we just, made a variable. It's broken. Because
absolutely busted.
Yeah, we never actually explained how the MP usage works. In Mystery Dungeon style games, you have a hunger meter. Roguelikes in general have some sort of food mechanic. It is basically an anti-turtling strategy. You can't just sit there, grind forever, get to level 99, and win the day in pretty much any roguelike. And form of that in Azure Dreams is your monster's MP. It is always going down. Restoring it is relatively rare. You need to take care of it. Yeah. And when it comes down to it, getting a pita fruit is actually really fortunate. You can also feed eggs to your monsters as well to give another 50 MP. New wells, I think, don't get that boost from eggs because they're vegetarians. There's a lot of small things like that in this game where you just have to be aware and do whatever. Again, seeing DamagedPlushie do the AI 1 strats here to pick up the KO versus the troll, which is always nice to see. I always love seeing runners do the AI 1.
It's fun.
But the thing is, like, if you're using anything in this game, like the best way I can describe this speedrun is you cannot practice for it. Trust me, I've tried. It's all knowledge based. The more you learn, the better you'll do. And the resources that we have available should be able to let any player be able to speedrun this game. It takes experience, though, to put what you do into practice, and that's the hard part as well. Is like I very rarely died when it comes to fighting monsters. You can't take into account traps. You can't. I used to play with the there's the best monster in the game. It's gonna possibly steal. Oh no, one shot. Okay. Oh wow, I didn't realize Sustainna's been fighting a lot. Sustainna's level 16.
Sustainna is leveled for, at this point, almost anything for a while, which is nice. And then, like, almost anything and then nothing.
Yeah. And
because after a while, levels don't mean anything. This game loves its diminishing returns.
Yes. Unfortunately, the mixture magic that you see being used, and I'll also get back into the MP usage and stuff in a sec, but the max level is 12 or 13, depending on how you see it. Eventually, it becomes like the strength of it is like 93.125% or whatever. You go up one more level, it's like 93.124. There's no more point, so you can just change the Queenie's familiar or genus to water. Then
what floor is damaged at? This appears to be
16.
16 still.
Yeah, 16 or because I think it's either 16 or 17 because I know Sustainna's in the lead right now.
Sustainna's in the lead right now. That background is only around for 2 floors. Or is DamagedPlushie does not like having the UI there.
No.
Knowledge is a huge difference. And I would say that the other major skill of this game is situational awareness. What position are you in? What do you have? What can you do with it? What's the little difference that you can find between success and failure here? Given how little of the floor she's explored, I'm going to say that 17. This is probably 17.
Yeah. But the touch back on the MP thing is mixture magic takes up about 1/3 of an MP because yay. Attacks take up 1 MP solid, and direct magic, which you saw Brit on DamagedPlushie's side, takes up like 8 to 12 or whatever. To go back to the Garuda topic, Garuda takes up 1/3 of an MP to basically be a free warp trap for you and the Garuda, which goes before all the other monsters, so you are really, really, really safe with the Garuda.
Wind Q and Sustainna? Sustainna has changed Q to Wind type. I guess it's using that.
That's a fire creature, though.
That's a fire creature. You should not be fighting that, Sustainna. That's bad.
That should be a KO with level 16. I think Sustainna is doing wind strats for the Vipers.
I think that is a very reasonable assumption.
Yeah, I don't think Sustainna has a C seed. No. I would have used the new well to get the water, or even hatch the plump egg at that point.
Yeah, that would be a decent egg. It's an unusual decision, and I think the reason we are so... Is Sustainna walking away from a Holy Bell? Is that what we're seeing?
Possibly, but Sustainna actually has a relatively stacked inventory, too.
That is true. I think it could be a little bit better, but I think wanting to save that Hazak herb until we're out of Viper Town is reasonable. Particularly because Sustainna seems to have set himself up to fight some Vipers here. Unfortunately, he's not finding any to fight.
Thank you, Starhawk.
Oopsie-doodle.
Yeah, the thing is, also, you have to be very cautious about when there's the Viper, there's the damage. I don't think Sustainna's going to get the opportunity to... Gotta be careful of those missteps. Because one more attack, I think, will take Queenie down.
Gonna have to be very aware of it. Going to have to be very protective of it.
That's fine, because Queenie will move right after.
Yeah,
okay, don't walk towards the...
What are you doing, Sustainna? There goes Kyun. Sustainna movement got a little sloppy there. Maybe Sustainna was just feeling a little too confident, maybe a little too nervous. It's really hard to tell which is which sometimes. But you've always got to treat the situation as at least moderately dangerous.
Yeah, and
bad. Not
gotta
good,
turn that
bad.
camera. And we see here that DamagedPlushie is going to be going on to floor, I believe, 19. Use a Holy Bell, Sustainna.
Is Sustainna in a room right now?
Well, we have no idea. This is where the game
the entire map has become visible. Is not instantly visible, but then the blindness does end. That's nice.
Yeah. The thing is, sometimes the game says no. And as speedrunners, we have to accept that. This is not something that you're going to be able to pull off every single time. It's not a speedrun where you can just reset and go to a save point. There is none. If you were to save scum, you would have to, I believe, save, go to the PS home menu, duplicate the save, and then you'd be able to have a backup save to go from. Which would take...
but that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of work.
As far as I know, and the other mods are in the chat, have we ever banned that? As well as Lady Demi being a mod as well. But like, have we ever actually agreed on banning that? Or is that just part of the game if you were to do it?
I mean, I guess it's part of the game if you were to do... Ow.
21, there we go.
That is 21. Sustainna, DamagedPlushie is not far off. If not already past that, let's see now. 21, DamagedPlushie just has to get off of this floor. And then DamagedPlushie will take round 1. And we'll be able to set back up for round 2 and see what is happening. Sus did pretty well. There were a couple of flaws there towards the end that I think made a situation go from honestly pretty great to pretty bad in a very short order.
Okay, lucky dodge. That's another shield coming into play there.
Unfortunately, not so lucky this time. That's going to be unpleasant. If DamagedPlushie does not...
wait.
Is not in a run.
No, it still hits the 8 tiles around you.
Oh, that's a good point. I think it's not 8. I think it might... Or, no, it's 8. It's 8.
Yeah.
Just not like 8 the way I was picturing it, for some reason.
Yeah, no, the Azure won't kill the unicorn, so this would have to be...
Yeah, this is gonna be tricky.
So this is the point. This is the match point here. If DamagedPlushie can get through this obstacle and get to the elevator, point is for DamagedPlushie. If Sustainna, or if DamagedPlushie doesn't, Sustainna gets the point. And this is where the speed aspect comes from in these races, is they were actually on par with each other the entire time, for the most part, going between, like, Sustainna being a little bit more grindy, getting some levels. Okay.
Oh, there goes Kuhn.
But
that's gonna make it trickier, but we do have a handy Kuhn substitute here. And while the Blaze Ball won't last terribly long, it'll probably last long enough. Now, all DamagedPlushie has to do is get out of the way of that.
Acid Rain Ball does... that's... Nope. Okay.
Blaze Ball did not last very long.
Don't punch it. There we go. Oh, good.
Oh, that's bad.
That's a good idea.
Decent notion. Did not quite work out as intended. Still, if you're alive, it's working well enough.
Okay, that's a good ice rock ball. That will keep them at bay, and they can definitely get... This came out in 1997.
1996 in Japan, I believe, but 1997 in the US. So it's a pretty old game. Old game too, I think, having really found its community just in these past few years online. Because while it was not like a hot seller of the game. I think for the people who played it, it was a memorable and special game. And
Match
so what
Damage
you will
Plushie.
see, point goes to Damaged
There you
Gee,
go.
we will be setting up GG.
Oh, we're both typing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
set up round 2.
It's not sad.
No.
It's
I could never spell Sustainna's name without looking at it.
there's no value judgment attached to the age of the game or to your age, so that is fine.
Yeah. The thing is, like, when it comes down to it, like, again, like, the speed aspect matters. There's only 13 minutes left. We don't know how the pacing would have gone. Yeah, I grew up with this game. I'm just gonna say that. Anyway.
Yeah, same.
The thing is, like, this is a really weird and lightning in a bottle style game. There's not many other roguelikes like it. It's just unique, and everyone who seemingly played it never had anyone else to play it with in our community, which is a common consensus thing as well.
My brother and I also had all of my friends who I forced to play Azure Dreams. But as of other people who actually owned the game independent of me and my brother, no one.
Leave it on the seed, not the game. There we go. So yeah, that's... Oh, I should change the +1 for DamagedPlushie. There we go.
Why blame Sand Knight? Because he's there.
So actually, I actually know the origin of this because I actually am one of the founding members of the Discord as well. Initially, when we got the randomizer, Sand Knight was enthralled with making seeds for races. It seemingly always was bad luck for everyone. Like,
And
it wasn't just
why.
like, oh, a couple traps here or there. It was, there's no armor, there's no staffs, there's no good luck, there's no whatever. And it just became a meme where, okay, if you're having bad luck, just blame Sand Knight.
Yep.
Like, we've asked Sand Knight numerous times if he minds it. He does not. He actually really enjoys it. He even has his own little icon in the Discord for it.
Both, I think, Vladimir Spider, but mostly it's the random luck. A Sand Knight seed is an extremely cursed seed.
Yes. Seemingly the ones that I tend to create for tournaments tend to have Scarlet Ones and Holy Blades, stuff like that. So, kind of an odd, weird thing, but
I don't have a particular theme, I think. Except maybe I sometimes feel like my seeds are very generous and also very cruel at the same time. Also, I probably should not get up to check and see if I still have my copy of Azure Dreams sitting in my stack of games. That's not a great decision. I sadly no longer play off of that copy, largely because my laptop does not have a disk drive, so, like, guess I'm just gonna have to play it off a ROM like plebs.
I'm one of the very few console players of this game, and I can say it doesn't have an advantage anymore when it glitches out during a marathon.
If someone generates a seed and no one is there to hear it, can you still blame Sand Knight? Yes.
Yes, you can.
Sand Knight is there in your heart. You keep the Sand Knight spirit not just when Sand Knight is present, but the whole year around.
Yeah, it's like Christmas, but sad.
Yeah.
We love you, Sand Knight. Even if your username screws up and italicizes Knight in the Discord every single time.
Okay. Vladimir has blessed this run to have many Krakens. We'll see how that goes. Release the Krakens!
Seeds are good. We'll get them in front of the house and we'll get going. Also, a small reminder for anyone who is suffering from the heat wave going on right now. Please stay hydrated. Please stay safe. It is currently 40 degrees in the computer room I'm at right now, and it's horrible. In Celsius, real temperature. I think it's like 104 or 111 or something Fahrenheit or something. So, Just everyone stay safe, but if need be, go get a drink. Reminder. Because after this, I'm retreating back to my basement because.
Good call. I will be right back. Yeah, actually, 1 second. While they get things set up.
Starting Quee on his bizarre adventure, yeah. All right, so yeah, the thing is, it's pretty bad in certain areas, but at the same time, just everyone be safe. It's like with wear masks, wash your hands, kind of thing. In a heat wave, definitely be safe. It's really bad. So looks like they're going to be going there. I'm going to get them counted down when I get the ready. There we go. And then I will actually post not the spoilers channel. Invite people to the general channel. There we go. This is the Azure Dreams speedrun Discord. If anyone's interested, I think actually we have AD. No, Azure.
No, doesn't. I don't think it's set up this time.
Ah, darn it. Oh well. Anyway, that's the Discord link. If anyone wants to join, please feel free to join. You don't have to be a speedrunner.
Resources. We will also just watch any random Azure Dreams. We will link Azure Dreams runs if we find them, even if they're not being played by community members, because hey, someone else knows about this game. And that is what we always want. That is perfectly fine just to lurk there.
Yeah.
And to check out when races, runs, regular gameplay, and so on are present.
Yeah, we also have a marathon channel, so it doesn't have to be an established runner to run the game. All we ask is if you can do the game to submit it to marathon. That's the only real criteria. So, get on the leaderboard. If you have a marathon that you're aware of, submit it. If you want some commentators, hit us up. We're always happy to commentate and do whatever. It's always a fun show. It's a very unfriendly marathon game. We'll straight up say that, but
yeah.
Sorry, I'm really bad at marathons. Horrors that everyone else who's ever had a showcase has been fine. It's just me.
Well, I think I've seen it. No, wait, that might have been you. That might have been your run. I feel like I've seen someone else struggle, but maybe I'm still thinking of you. And if so, I apologize.
It might be. It tends to be pretty rough. So on to game 2, for anyone who, again, is new here and stuff like that, since the start of the first one, we'll just go over the basic rules again. This is Rock Me to the Top, is of best of 3 format. When it comes to the run, everyone has a 1-hour time limit. Just because we don't want people to do earthquake percent, which is actually a thing now. Thanks, runners. When it comes to
Dreams has, I think at this point, nearly as many silly meme categories as there are. No. I think we're still about half silly meme categories, half real legitimate categories.
Yes, and the thing is, when it comes to marathons, we submit normally Rock Me to the Top because it's more of a showcase of the game, and it allows us to show off all the aspects of the game between the races, 44 climbs that they happen, and whatever, because we're able to. Doing it solo is very nerve-wracking and annoying, and I do not recommend doing that. Just saying. We have here Sustainna picking up the same 5 items like before. It'd be peanut fruit, medicinal herb, the flame ball, the palumpa egg, which will be a random color. It's always a palumpa, around 80% heat or so. Queenie, and the copper sword. I'm pretty sure I always set it in different order every single time. 6 factorial. I'm gonna
Probably.
So yeah, basically when it comes down to it is every floor from floor 2 to floor 39 will be randomly generated. Floor 1 and floor 40 are
the same every time.
Yeah.
At least on your first run, but that's all we'll be seeing in this matchup, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes, because
this second and so on runs. In which case, there will be a different floor that's the same every time after that.
Poison trap on DamagedPlushie side at level 1, so that's horrible. So when it comes down to it, though, this is done through our randomizer.
a Cursed Scarlet One over on Sustainna's side, and so we'll be probably seeing that on DamagedPlushie's side, unless something terrible happens in the intervening little bit. Sustainna, by the way, having to fight for his tournament life here. This is the loser's bracket. It is best 2 out of 3, so if DamagedPlushie takes this race, that will knock Sustainna out. We want to see a game 3. We want to see them keep going.
Yeah, it really came down to a minute's worth of gameplay difference, really, because DamagedPlushie was only just behind Sustainna's floor 21. And it was the Ice Rock Ball which actually sealed the deal for, ironically, DamagedPlushie. It actually cost Queenie on Sustainna's side because of Sustainna walking up to the Viper and Weedog. So, ironically, it's the same item that actually cost them to lose and win, respectively. Submarine Shark is the best bet.
Valsamir Spider was asking about Earthquake percent. It is one of our main categories. Basically, this game has as its other anti-turtling feature, besides just Monster MP, earthquakes. Eventually, we'll start seeing, if you stay on one floor long enough, there will be earthquakes. It'll say, oh no, the floor is going to collapse soon. You should leave. And then it eventually just keeps earthquaking. Eventually, every room on the floor collapses away, and you are thrown up the next floor. Earthquake percent is a style of run endeavoring to get to floor 40 using only earthquakes, and maybe the occasional random trap, but not any deliberate efforts to go up.
Yeah, and the stupidest thing is this was initially coined by Don Fargo, who is one of our earliest runners and members of the Discord. Love you, by the way, buddy. But when it comes down to it, we had a couple other people join who had the same play style. It wasn't set up or whatever, then eventually enough people did it, we're like, okay, we will make it a category, here's earthquake percent. And it's like 6 hours of just murdering. It's basically the genocide run, as far as I'm concerned, of this game, because everything must die.
Basically, it is standing in a corner, dying, or fighting until everything is dead and skipping turns when there's nothing to fight.
Yeah. And honestly, like, if you were to put it in perspective of, like, pacifist, I know Sustainna has attempted to not do any damage and try to climb up, and Sustainna got to, like, floor 26 or something. Like, that is beyond dumb.
It's probably easier to do it without doing damage, though, like, not easy, than earthquake percent, because earthquake percent just takes forever.
Yeah, but it's consistent, because eventually you just start murdering things, so, you know.
Yeah.
Also, this little cursed wand, actually, I should point it as well. Your attack stat does matter, but wands always have an attack stat of 1.
So a cursed wand has an attack stat of 0, but at least you've got that mixture magic with.
Yeah, so
which will make up the difference.
Earthquake percent has been completed, I think, 4 times. One with not on the leaderboard. I think that's done by Chai with the state display and whatever, and I think it's Revan, Yekrep, and there's one other runner. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. Let me look that up quickly. Sir Dreams leaderboard.
How high level do people reach in terms of player level? I think that would require searching, but the answer is pretty high, I bet.
Yeah. not too sure on earthquake percent. I know for any percent, I feel safe when I'm level 23 with a water queenie. That tends to be my comfort zone. After that, it kind of gets really dodgy. Like, again, the tower is always going to really kill you. Like, you don't ever get good stats. Like,
stop mattering after a while.
Yeah. I think this is also floor 5, so I think Sustainna is still in the lead by 1 floor here, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to keep a track of...
DamagedPlushie is in the lead here.
Ah. I've changed the
by,
audio
like, arriving at floor 5 first, because that is when Manaweavers show up.
That's right. There you go. Yeah.
The EXP curve is quite stupid.
Yes.
In general, the curve of diminishing returns is pretty extreme. If we want to talk other meme runs, there was also Palumpa %, which is complete the game with that Palumpa. You have to have it out, and it has to be alive the whole time. With that starting Palumpa and no other monster. And that's a fun one. We also have, in terms of meme run, Curry %.
Yes, which is a
Played
dumb little
one
thing,
of the dating sim girls. A dumb little thing. It is, in some ways, almost like a miniature version of Bookless. Like a little bite of Bookless.
Yeah. Which Bookless itself, we should explain, is basically everything but the book.
Cool monster booklet. Second.
I'm also trying to find on the randomizer website the experience curve. It eventually gets so dumb. There's no feasible way to level up, basically, to, I think, level 50. I think you're kind of stuck at. So you need literally, like, I think 100,000 experience at that point or something. Really dumb. And Ko's level resets every single time you leave the tower. Your monsters... Oh, that's a very lucky warp trap on Sustainna side there.
Ooh.
I think...
Very nice. You don't normally get good luck with warp trap.
No, you really don't. That probably sends Sustainna into a small little hard time. Oh, Life Wand. And it's floor 8 now for Sustainna, so there you go. It's another overtake.
Oh, did DamagedPlushie lose Q or just bag Q?
I don't know. I think bagged, and I think possibly keep it in there. I didn't see because I was watching Sustainna's side.
Yeah, it had. Then I think that then it's probably that was a situation where camera angles it would have helped to have. Looks like that.
Oh,
looks like we are seeing that Palumpa get used up as an egg bomb on Plushie's side.
Plushie does have Joey in the inventory though. So
yeah, weird not to have Q'd out. While you have the breathing room. That's really strange.
Might not need it.
Well, I mean, I guess technically yes, but it's still a little unusual. I guess Plushie is playing with house money. Okay, there we go. There we are.
Oh, didn't change the AI. You gotta make sure you do that. If you walk away too much and change the AI or do whatever, it's really annoying.
And certainly risky. We saw even a small disconnect make things a little bit harder for her last time. That clown should be reasonably fightable. Oh, but going for the pickup anyway.
Wind Seed, Antidote Herb. We're just gonna go then. Alright. Get low down on Sustainna's side. There you go.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
Yes, especially because it lowers you to 1 experience less than your previous level. So no matter what, yes, you'll level up when you kill the clown, but you could be down like 60 experience or something at that point.
Yeah,
you were so close to a level.
And then it's just gone, and it's very unfortunate.
It's really obnoxious. There is one shield, which I still think is the best in the game, just because the practicality of it, but I absolutely love the Mirror Shield.
Mirror Shield is a good shield, and I think, like, for a casual playthrough, I think it is maybe the best. But then again, I think you could maybe argue that it's still leather. Leather is still the best.
I specialize in not getting punched in the face. I don't need leather. I'd much rather not get sniped by a breath of a dragon or a rise of a griffin or a low bind or low blind and all these other stuff.
Very fair. Very fair. Though leather does help you with not getting punched. True.
And the thing is, again, HP is a resource, and if you can save it, that's all the better. Everyone cowers before U-boats. That's a general consensus, yes.
It's just the nature of things.
Yeah, the U-boats in general are extremely dangerous. Just Sustainna once again full inventory, and we see DamagedPlushie just beside the elevator, just beside everyone. Will this be the overtake again? Nope.
Yeah.
Sustainna's just barely keeping that lead.
Yeah, and choosing not to explore, even though we saw that last time. Oh! It's very unfortunate. Trap.
I would have actually done the warp trap myself too. Just the okay, there you go. That's very fortunate for Sustainna, because that's not floor 12. Let's see if DamagedPlushie gets hit by the same warp trap here, because we know that obviously they're the same thing there.
The issues.
Wow, Sustainna's is booking it. Like, that's actually really kind of rare, because Sustainna is extremely underleveled.
Absolutely,
14, okay.
That's very scary. This is going to have the whole race. Sustainna's tournament life is now on the slimmest of margins. Could turn out more or less the opposite of the way it did last time. This time, it could be that Sustainna wins simply by reaching the floor first. That is always a possibility.
There goes Queenie.
Ooh. Well, Sustainna isn't really going to be fighting anymore. By this point, if you're not fighting, then that is a lot of EXP very quickly. That is, I think, the other side of this leveling curve. Is that when you get EXP, you get it. When you get a large amount of EXP, when you kill a monster that's a bit higher, you get a lot of EXP. Compared to killing several monsters on a floor you're properly leveled for. Sustainna is kind of on a floor-a-minute run right now.
Yeah.
That is one of those things that's always fun to see.
Yeah, Sustainna actually is a very knowledgeable runner. As is that, pretty much as is everyone, basically. Like, everyone has put their time and effort into this game in one way or another. The one thing that he did not do, which is actually what cost him Queenie, is he did not change Queenie to follow directly behind him. Queenie actually was positioned to the default position of bottom right.
That is one of those things.
That's what caused Queenie to fall behind by one space. So. Also, throwing an egg will also, it will hatch a monster, make it attack the recipient, or around the recipient, I should say. And then on top of that, it will also hash it 50 levels above Ko. So that was a level 59 Palumpa, which is why I was able to one-shot the Kraken there.
But despite that floor-a-minute time, they are neck and neck here. Here, and that must be terrifying.
Okay,
now,
one floor 16 or floor 15, sorry. That's not okay. I was gonna say that's not Queenie besides Sustainna loading in there. Also, there might be some small differences now in the randomizer. I can't remember if it's been fixed or done, but
I don't believe it has been changed.
Okay, so having a pet out when going up floors will be different than not having a pet. So there might be some small differences between DamagedPlushie and Sustainna's side now, just because that's how the randomizer works. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but it's one of those things where
having a different monster, just having a monster versus not having a monster, just changes some of the numbers. Egg.
Okay.
Am I wrong? Or is Shawnee wrong?
I'm always wrong. Well, I'll blame Sand Knight.
But
also, Septic is my opponent for next round, so I'm gonna.
We even saw this during this tournament. Okay. Sustainna, very excited for that egg, I can't help but imagine.
Yeah, because just lost Queenie. It is entirely possible that, what is that one? Oh, I see. So place your bets in the chat. Will Sustainna A be able to hatch the egg in time? So that's 16% or something like that. Or, what's the egg going to be? And also, wow, DamagedPlushie is being surrounded by a lot of things all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is a bad scene, man.
All right,
going for that pickup. Going to have a bit of trouble with the disposal of this pickup, this carried monster. Going to have to figure out how to escape some of these monsters before it can be handled. Otherwise, it's just taking the problem and moving it a little bit further away. But this could work out. This could have been a successful dodge just by using that intersection and getting a little bit of space at a time. Yeah. Looks like DamagedPlushie is gonna be hanging in there. Oh, yeah, volcano.
It poops. That's its strength. It poops and causes the ice wall, but it doesn't really do much. There is a purpose for it. You can use it effectively. I'm not going to say it's useless like a Dreamin'. You can technically leave it in a hallway and get some space, not the volcano, but just the poop or whatever, and they will aggro it, at least for one turn, and then you can beg the volcano back to make it catch up with you. There is strategies. You can use a weak ball to use it as a periscope to see across the floor if you use it outside of a room. There is reasons for poison to lure a monster to the point where it has 1 HP and kill it with a copper coin. There's nothing good about Dreamin', first and foremost, but I know it's not poop, but it poops it.
It does poop it. And, think of it, and it's, it could be, though. I mean, think about owl pellets, right? After a point, poop gets weird.
Okay, DamagedPlushie, lost Queenie, survives there.
Yeah, that whole situation increasingly intense.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
And there's a third Kraken.
I think DamagedPlushie should have holy belled and hid for a little while. Now going to have to cross through the valley of death to holy bell out. I think that's what you gotta do.
Although I don't. No, the thing is, DamagedPlushie already got hit once, so I think they can only take one hit, not two.
Oh, that's unfortunate, because that'll be the end of race 2 once DamagedPlushie figures out. And nope.
There you go.
There we go.
I wasn't paying attention to the room floor or the floor number, but
it is, in fact, Sustainna is in the lead. That brings us tied 1-1. We will have a game 3, everybody.
Sustainna is adorable, actually. I can say that. If you check his icon in the Discord, conveniently linked here, you can actually see Sustainna is very adorable. So let's give Sustainna a point if you want to message them. Because you're right, I completely forgot Sustainna got to the floor first. Although that cements it there, floor 16. Honestly, races can, we've actually had a 2v2 tournament. And during the seeding process, we had, out of the 4 runners, 3 of them die at floor 2. And this was before fixed tower seeds. And then the last person who did the race later got to floor 3. We're like, congratulations, you won. They're like, what?
Yeah, that was a fun one. Not a point of everlasting pride.
I'm not naming names. I'm not naming names. I know all 4 runners.
Races can end just like that. We are not expecting runners to make it to the top. That is a thing that can happen and has happened in tournaments.
Yep.
But it's not going to be an everyday occurrence.
The thing is,
tower can be brutal. That's why we do best 2 out of 3 matches.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to game 3.
The other thing as well is you can't ever guarantee a safe elevator, or not. When you go up the elevator, when you spawn into the floor, you can literally be surrounded by 4 Krakens for all you know, on floor 13. It has happened. If you have a holy bell, you can get out of it. Yay. If you don't, you gotta do some shenanigans. There's a 10-minute fruit glitch. You can even release Queenie or a Plumpa. Hatch that, do the immortality, earthquake up. There's tons of things you can do to survive. And in the last 2+ years of this community being a thing, we have had so many little breakthroughs to make this game safer to play for people. But
absolutely,
it's not safe to play. Like there's a good chance both runners just straight up might die on floor 3.
I think of it as sort of a Xeno's paradox of Azure Dream's safety. Approaching safe, but never reaching it.
All right. 9419. Let's double check. 9419. Come on, Sustainna. One more click. Come on.
Come on. See screen.
Well, Plushie's fine, but
Sustainna, we have to see your seed.
There we go. 9419. Yep, they're both good. And again, randomizer, all credit to the wonderful programmer. We used to have just you load up the game, and if you had better tower luck than the other person, that's how it went, kind of thing. But now, or not now, it's been I think a year and a half since programmer found out how to basically make it so when the seed is generated, I think it's 40 tower climbs or something, 40 entries will be the same. So let's say if we back when we had the Stars tournament, we allowed deaths and re-entry for the hour time limit to try to get as high as you can go. Sometimes this is better to reset, truthfully, than trying to go in with blank items. But you'd have multiple entries, and sometimes maybe your second entry will be better than your first entry for items or something like that. So maybe it would be worth when crystalling out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. However, your opponent would have the same second tower as your second tower, the same third entry to your third entry, and so on. It's pretty neat.
There we go. Oh, so shout out to Currybot for me not having to go 10, 9, 8 for countdown in the Discord. I love it.
It is very nice.
Also, we should explain a little bit. We did mention Curry % before. It is an offshoot of Bookless. There is a dating sim. There's a lot of different categories, a lot of different ways to play this game. When it comes down to for Curry %, me and Kane the Brain, 2 Bookless runners, when Cheryl was one of the target,
one of the girls,
and
my personal favorite. Maybe
she
was my favorite when I was a kid anyway, and that doesn't count.
But the thing is, she could become a nurse. She looks like a baker, as far as I'm concerned. Just the nurse outfit doesn't look very practical. But me and Kane kept joking that whatever. It's it's Baker Cheryl versus sewing Cheryl, and we eventually found out you could, when you're supposed to apologize, it has sorry, and curry. And we figured we tried it. You can say curry, nothing happens, doesn't cost you anything. It possibly is even a time save because it has less text boxes. So eventually people made it into its own categories. How fast can you get to that menu option? And that's where that category comes from.
Mm-hmm. Also, Cheryl is the sickly girl. Her story arc is a little bit of independence and a little bit of curing her with magical herbs you get in the tower, because side quest. I do like that it has a side quest. I also like, this is a personal feeling thing, but I like that sometimes Cheryl is normally, like your sickly anime girls tend to be normally very pure and sweet and innocent, but she can occasionally be, out of frustration with her predicament, maybe a little bit bratty and a little bit like
Patient
taking what she
yeah.
can get. And I actually really like that. I think that is one of, oh my goodness, that is a scary room.
Yeah, you use a fireball.
Fun.
Yeah, you're using a fireball on that one. You got to make sure you get your first level.
And then everything else becomes much more manageable.
Mm-hmm. Also, fun fact, even if you beat the tower in one climb, do not talk to anyone else in the game, Cheryl will be in your house in the end credit scene because she has to talk about how the skies are blue. We have no idea why she shows up there. She is just by herself. She's still technically bedridden. But she came to see you when it was raining for some reason in your house, and we kind of been poke fun of it every now and then. Ooh, upside down.
So that she can do a near title drop, because I don't think the game devs were thinking about her being absent, and I don't think that the translators were thinking, oh, this is like very close to a title drop. So we probably should have the skies be Azure there, but they don't.
Also, a small side note is it's kind of the same kind of the same tone as in Mega Man X. There actually is a password glitch which lets you go to the Sigma stages early, but you don't ever get the boots, which you're supposed to have for the entire game. The ending credit scene will always check all your armor, but it will always put the boots on X because it just assumes you must have had it to get to this point. And there's a wonderful task of it, and it's kind of funny, but it's the same thing. As far as I'm concerned, Cheryl is the equivalent of the boots. The devs were like, someone would eventually would talk to her or something. Or like she's the placeholder, or something. You think something would be there, but even if you get a girlfriend before the end of the game, Cheryl will still be there.
You know, you'd think it'd be Nico, but no.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not. And that's
it's another cartel. Leather +2. Oh, that's a nice find.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah.
It actually makes the leather shield actually block stuff.
Yeah, I have a little bit of defense. Defense eventually becomes useless, but when it's useful, it's very useful.
Also, the other thing we should note, we keep talking about the leather shield being useful and like being a preference, is because it has a higher chance of dodge than every other shield. There's also a lot of small quirks about the game. Like we said, we're not going to be able to mention them. Let's say you had a pet griffin. Pickets won't steal from you. If you have a flame can't be affected by Zoo's roar. And stuff like there's a bunch of small things, like the pickets and the griffins is based off a historical thing of griffins protecting treasure. There's a lot of small little nuances in this game, which we're still kind of figuring out every now and then. And I think the one thing that bugs me
once in a while.
Yeah, but the one thing that bugs me is the floating monsters can't be picked up.
It's very obnoxious.
Yeah. I understand the flame, the thing that's on fire, can't be picked up. Okay, I get that.
But Cune floats and you can pick up Cune.
But the balloon floats and you can't pick up the balloon. That's what bugs me. Oh, Sustainna not putting Queenie right behind him again. That's just how warp traps happen, by accident. And that's one of the first things that we do. I know Adarsis is one of the runners who doesn't change Queenie's position for that as well. But if you're walking over 2 times the amount of tiles that you're initially walking through the path, Queenie will find traps before you. And if you get hit by a warp trap, you can see where you were based on the pink dot on the map and where you teleported to, so you can make your way back. If Queenie gets hit by the warp trap, you have no idea where on the floor Queenie is. And that's one of the things you learn very early on. Yeah.
By doing that. It saves you a little bit of time. I'm to not reset it, but you can lose a lot more that way. So it's not advised.
Yeah. So if you have a chance,
your own risk.
Yeah. If you have a chance, always put Queenie behind you. Likewise, if you were to have a useless monster, it does take up more MP to have 2 monsters out at the same time. But let's say you hatch that Plumpa and have that Plumpa follow in front of you, just to be, kind of a canary in the mines kind of thing. Eventually, it's going to hit a trap, and oh well, it saves you. It makes a big difference, like how you play the game and whatnot. Again, there was one of our previous runners only used to carry Queen because he was afraid of warp traps. That's just how it was.
Ooh, this is a little bit of a sticky situation. Not a huge one, though. There's like a couple of things DamagedPlushie could do that should be reasonably safe here.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, like, when you attack with Mixture Magic and when you're confused, you'll attack in one of the 8 directions around you. If you use a Spell Ball, the Spell Ball will hit where you're targeting. You do not get confused while using the Flame Ball or Weak Ball or whatever you want to use. It just happens to be a thing. So DamagedPlushie will have to do her absolute best to kind of mitigate this. Like, honestly, I probably still would have tried to move around to get, yeah, there you go, away from the pits. But unfortunately, you
can get a little bit tricky here.
Okay, there we go. Thankfully, Queenie is a higher. Oh, didn't change the AI.
Yeah, that could have gone bad. That could have gone worse. That is a thing we keep seeing DamagedPlushie having a little bit of trouble with here.
For the emulator usage, I think RetroArch is what DamagedPlushie is using. I think that might be the same as Sustainna. I don't know what core they're using. We don't really have an established set right now for that. But...
Yeah, we don't really have a rule about that. It sort of is just whatever runs best for you.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a game where the particular hardware or software makes a huge difference. That could have gone on badly, but it didn't. So that is how chaotic it can get, as Wugga points out.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, Sustainna again, possibly if Queenie that's an ugly room for an elevator. I don't like that. I don't like dead end rooms with elevators. They make me feel bad.
That can get a little bit dicey. That can get a little bit weird.
Also, the other thing as well is there are one-room floors where the entire map is one room, and all the monsters know exactly where you are, and that's a fun thing and a wonderful experience for everyone involved. There's also probably the more hated one is a 2 or a 3-room floor where it's just a spaghetti string of a map and a couple little rooms dotted along. That means all the monsters you kill will spawn on the other side and they'll approach you. There's no
room to run. There's no room to hide. There's no places to lose monsters on an intersection. There's nothing. There's just you and the monsters. And there's usually not even, at least with a run room floor, you can see where all the treasure is, and there's like a reasonable amount of it, depending on the exact nature of that one room floor. But like a 1 or 2 room, not even that. Very unfortunate. So the disadvantage of a 1 room compared to a 1 or 2 room floor is like if you are in a scenario on a floor where there's a monster with an unlocked spell like a griffin, that can get unpleasant. Mm-hmm. They can snipe you.
Yeah, the griffin, actually we should explain a little bit as well about the monsters. There's obviously the 3 genuses. There's the wind, fire, and water. Water tends to be more support, which is healing, barriers, whatever. Wind tends to be kind of, I will say, tricky. It'll be blind.
They have
it'll
some
paralysis.
Gimmick usually that makes them either annoying or debilitating to fight.
Yeah, and then all the fire spells are damage spells.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a flame ball, well, congratulations, it's a projectile. Like, no matter what spell ball you find, which is fire-based, it will be a projectile.
Mm-hmm.
That goes with all the fire monsters that have direct spells. They all get extremely happy they can start shooting stuff, and it's really annoying. And griffins in particular, again, like krakens come a little bit too early. I think they should have been fine on 415. At that point, maybe some justification. They're too early in the tower. They hurt way too much.
They are a huge barrier. I think there's something to be said for the monsters in, like, 11 in those early double digits in your 11 and your 13 and so on, that hit this sort of sweet spot where they're low enough that you'll see them a lot, but hard enough that they'll also kill you a lot.
Yeah, and the
that
thing
makes
is,
them every runner's nightmare.
yeah, at the same time, like, the Griffins in particular, like, you have, like, let's look at Sustainna's thing, or screen right now. 39 HP? 40, okay, thank you, 42 at level 6. If you're speedrunning this, you're running up a tower and you get to floor 10, you're level 6 or whatever, trying to save your flame balls for Garudas, like some of the runners do to get experience, you possibly might get one-shotted with the Griffin if you're recovering from a battle. It's horrible. No one likes it. And that's just how it goes. Also, I'm pretty sure... I didn't see if DamagedPlushie picked up that wand. And yes, it is time for more Azure Dreams races. Welcome, Race.
Dear. That can get pretty unfortunate. DamagedPlushie is not in a good state right now.
Yeah, okay,
yes,
the wand
we're
is
on
in
match 3 of this losers bracket. There will be another match on Saturday if this whets your appetite for Azure Dreams. I still need to organize my race this week, so it might fit in there somewhere as well.
And we have our... I still have it copy-pasted. If I can type, that'd be wonderful. I can't type. I missed the E. Whatever. It's silent. Anyway. There's the Azure Dreams Discord. If you want to join, we do have a role. Anyone who's interested, the Azure Watcher role. We ping that when everyone goes live, just casually, speedrunning, whatever. You can do that. Feel free to join. We can assign the role. Any mod can. But yeah, we'll be having one on, I think it's like 3 p.m. I should really know the time, shouldn't I? I think it's 3 p.m. on Saturday is the next one. At least, for now.
Cool.
Let me double check that.
DamagedPlushie taking her time very carefully on this 5th floor. Or feeling that early loss of Q.
Yes. July 3rd, 3 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Septic Tank versus some scrub.
That's fine.
It'll be interesting nonetheless. It's me. Spoilers. But anyway, yeah, so honestly, looking at how Sustainna is kind of murdering everything, like, I don't know
Back
if
to the
Sustainna's
play style, Sustainna had in the first game, where Sustainna got to a pretty high level, both in terms of floor and in terms EXP.
Also, I'm pretty sure Sustainna swapped out that leather shield. I think it's a steel shield or something.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why there's more. This is going to be okay. That's a very fortunate sleep trap not to go off, and Sustainna really pushing that HP value there. Yeah, no one. Oh, that's a lot of Manivas on DamagedPlushie's side. Honestly, if worst comes to worst, like, you do have a fireball. It does have 5 charges. It is very valuable for keeping runners alive. You really don't want to waste it. If you're gonna get 2-shot by a monster, maybe think about using it, because resources are useless if you're dead.
Yep. It's an instance of, sorry, can't take it with you.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is a roguelike game, so when you die, you lose all your equipment you take in the tower. That's a U-boat. Mm-hmm. And there's an Odium fruit.
Let's see.
Oh, wind, okay.
There is that nice little trick of changing the U-boat's element to make it manageable. It still deals a decent chunk, but not a catastrophic chunk.
Yeah, I was kind of more concerned about Queen's HP damage there. And we see there again, Sustainna set off a trap with Queenie. That was a rush trap, so it didn't matter at all. But at the same time, just if you don't hit a trap, Queenie doesn't hit a trap, just kind of put Queenie behind you. Definitely going to talk about this in the interview later.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of good habits and a lot of bad habits in this community when it comes to speedrunning this game. That's a bad habit. There's nothing good about having Queenie hit traps for you and hit warp traps, paralysis traps, and whatever. Oh, I guess paralysis traps are at least one good thing because you can pick up Queenie and go. But warp traps are devastating. And here's again, Queenie is going to be guarding the sleeping co. Thankfully, not brainwashed.
Is very nice.
That's very fortunate. That's extremely fortunate.
This is some good luck to repair that bad luck over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't want that to ever be the case. Again, Queenie is unbrainwashable. There we go. No, I know he can't be brainwashed.
It's not lucky that the brainwashing didn't happen. It's lucky that the bloom kept wasting its turn by doing that over and over.
Queenie would lose that fight 1v1 if it was just attacks. So
that made a pretty significant difference there.
Yeah. We see another egg toss. You gotta be careful with the egg tosses as well, because sometimes if you throw the monster and it happens to be near like a raised terrain or something like that and it spawns, it might spawn on the raised terrain and not hit your target.
Sustainna feeling bold walking past the elevator on floor 9. I would not.
I didn't see what the spin-in was. Maybe Sustainna saw something on the elevator spin-in kind of thing. Or just checking the room. I don't know. Oh, a 2-charge acid rain ball. That's actually really nice as well.
I believe that... Was that a case of finding a white sand, I wonder?
Yes, it is.
Know. Okay, there we go. Because acid rain balls always have 1 charge when you find them.
Yeah, they're again, you just use...
It is the trade-off of their power.
Yeah, they're very nice. They're... That's a 3-shot. Okay, that's now a problem because... Yeah. The clown's gonna do a lot of damage, actually.
Clown's gonna hurt. Clowns are easy to fight in the sense that they are not very strong defensively, and a good fire mixture magic or fire your attack spell will just take them out. But they deal a lot of damage. Those sides, they are squishy wizards. They are glass cannons.
Yeah, and which is why I tend to hate using them when I have to, because... Yeah, it's not, like, there's a, not animosity between me and the clown or anything. Sustainna, what are you doing? Oh, elevator, I see.
Yeah, it was right there.
So one too many close calls there.
That still leaves a bad situation. I suppose that acid rain ball would have been there. And probably would have been a good idea to use it, really, rather than walking around this floor with low HP, because Griffin could come see, oh, you're about to die.
Ooh, a familiar bell. That's worth it. Yeah, why are you holding a wind crystal in this race? You don't need to.
Oh, that could happen.
Oh, got the dodge.
Lucky dodge.
Because he wouldn't die from it, but he'd be going up to the next floor with like 4 health.
Again, once you get in a loop like this, where you don't have a whole lot of HP for an extended period, that can really mess you up in the middle to long term. Certainly, I have been in that situation. It's a rough one. You don't want to be there.
We see the U-boat and Minerva sharing the same space. So let's see. Oh, that is a weird terrain preventing Sustainna from moving up there. Floor 12, are you gonna... Nope, we're gonna forego the blue collar, I think.
I I think Sustainna saw it. I think it was there on the spawn.
Oh,
In the
okay.
spawn room. I think I saw blue anyway.
So this would be the acid rain thing, because you'd not be chased down the hallway by a horse now.
Yeah, that would I think be a pretty good opportunity.
Because it'd be also like steel sword.
Oh, steel
okay.
sword. That is a promising sign according to community lore.
Fun fact: my marathon run, I actually had a steel sword the entire run.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yes. Oh, that was a sleeping Newell, so I had that turn missing. It's gonna hit. Yeah, don't.
Be very.
Yeah, there. Olim. Okay. I probably would keep the Olim for the Krakens, truthfully.
Yeah, probably a good call. Gonna use that red sand. That's a good thing to not have to hang on to if you can. Oh, lots of red sands.
Yeah, Sustainna's been hoarding them for some reason.
Just in case, I guess.
Oop, there's the Griffin.
Yeah, Sustainna's been lucky in not dealing those on the several floors that have started with low HP. There is that Kraken that it would be nice if that Olim was there. You can just chuck it out of
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right movement to do, because all of a sudden you get the Griffin into the room and not strong enough to take out the Kraken, though.
Yeah, it is a water elemental damaging spell. The only water elemental damaging spell ball that there is. Everything else that deals damage is fire elemental. At least in terms of spell balls. There is, I believe, a damaging wind spell.
I think the only thing would be a mixture magic. I don't think, because it'd be.
What does Grave do?
Oh, Grave is the fire version of low bind, or low down. That's when.
Then what was I thinking about? I'm sure I was thinking about something.
Pound's mixture magic has tended to poison everyone thinking wind is actually decent, but it's not. This is a really, really strong spell.
No, not that. What am I thinking about? No, it's the Cyclone spell.
That would be low down if it was natural, low grave if it's fire-based, isn't it?
I believe that is not the case. It's the same mixture magic as low down.
Look at that room. So I'm gonna look up the 80 right now and see what Cyclone stuff is here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a.
There we go.
No, that's Okay, he's lucky that it hit Queenie.
Thank you, Ski, for agreeing with me, but that's a bad situation on DamagedPlushie's side.
Okay, you got the fireball, and then you're gonna die. You're on the height disadvantage. Yep.
Oh, and there's Sustainna goes. Now it is up to DamagedPlushie. Can she continue her climb? Can she make it to, I think it was 16, that's what she needs.
Yes, she needs 16. I don't know what her level is, obviously. I think she's on floor 9, she's on floor 9, because 10 is the change of things, I believe. It's either 8 or 9.
This could be 8, yeah.
But when it comes down to it, it's going to be a little bit of a slog, because DamagedPlushie's been using a lot of resources. Also, we'll switch the...
And no Kyun, this is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
But it will determine, ultimately, her life in this tournament.
Honestly, always good to pick up loops. There's no reason not to use them. It's being very cautious.
And there we go. Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the reason you didn't think of low grave, and also why you thought of it as low down, is that it has the same mixture magic as low down, except it's more expensive as a mixture magic. Warp trap doesn't really matter. Ooh, that could be bad. Be careful about the corner! Be careful about the corner!
Yep. Don't try to use a fireball around it.
Don't use a fireball around the corner.
Yeah, the troll with the bowgun is the one who can do wall hacks, not you.
Yep. Just going for the pickup, going it nice and easy.
Holy scroll
Gonna
nice
get
to see.
very nice. Fireworks in those corners? I didn't think it does. I frankly would probably use that warp trap if I were DamagedPlushie here. You can't juke it. It's not a Mana Weaver.
You can make it poop. That's about it.
Trap. Oof. Good. A fireball will not do the trick here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what
DamagedPlushie's
level is, but by 37, that's level 6. Okay, yeah, you're not really...
Okay, now the pickup works.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful because, again, like, if you get sniped by a griffin in the back...
this wouldn't have a griffin just yet.
No, but
I think this is still 10. But yeah.
But like
bow
between the trolls
are also an option for sniping you.
The worst thing is getting stuck in a hallway, like a 1-hex hallway, with a troll with a bowgun, because you're at their mercy basically at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty unpleasant. There are also a lot of like unpleasant things that can happen with bow trolls, just in general. Well, certainly I can think of, for example, basically, if a bow troll has you in their aggro, they will shoot you. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, there's a special strats deal with them with AI 1 because you have to constantly zigzag, so they approach you and stuff like that, and it's really annoying.
DamagedPlushie being very careful to look ahead and make decisions about which path to go down. Picking up a Dreamin', it's just a Dreamin'.
It's just a Dreamin', yeah. Oh, so I'll be right back in a second here.
Okay. In the meanwhile, I will hold down the fort. We're going to see that Dreamin' could be used in theory to distract another monster. I don't think it was necessary to throw it in this case, and it seems to maybe not have worked out ideally. DamagedPlushie taking a chance to figure out how this Dreamin' will behave with the intersection. Monsters have fairly predictable routing in hallways. They will keep their left hand on the wall as they go into a hallway, unless they're aggroed on you, then all bets are off. If something makes them turn around or blocks their path, and it's not something that they're going to attack because it's you or a monster or your monster or an ice rock ball, then they're going to turn around. There's also a mixture magic that will make them turn around, and this is that situation where we thought maybe an acid rainbow would come into play. Still not this time. Looks like DamagedPlushie managed to lose the volcano here. That's pretty good to see. So now we'll be waiting and seeing. Come on, I don't think we saw what that spell ball was.
No, Sustainna left it. Oh, that's a fireball.
Fireball, that is something that I'm sure DamagedPlushie will be happy to see.
Mm-hmm.
Going tuneless like this, those fireballs become your new friend. Yeah, that would be where you put your familiar if you had one.
Yeah. I get that reference.
Or 12, we're not getting...
Oh, yeah, you're right about the blue color.
To the point where it is do or die, win or lose. everything or nothing. Oh, so it wasn't in the spawn room, it was just in, like, the room next to the spawn room. Okay. This would be a really good time to use treasure, star glass, yeah.
Yeah.
Really matter. Yeah, if you are in Sustainna's position, it's very stressful. You have lost a while ago, your opponent is still going. That means you managed to get ahead, but it doesn't mean that you're safe yet.
Yeah. And that's actually one thing Fee always pointed out when she was doing the tournament matches and stuff like that. In these fixie tournaments, you have to remember everything you found, assume your opponent has found. And so if you found the Scarlet Wand in game 1, you're like, okay, DamagedPlushie would have had it. I was thinking of that. It's like they would have a Scarlet Wand, so you have to adjust your pace on it or whatever. Even if you go opposite ways, assume everything you find, they found. And I still understand, like, there's a lot of... Okay, DamagedPlushie did use a Holy Bell. I didn't see that there initially. Oh, no, that was a Holy Scroll.
Yeah. Luckily, that Newell has, I think, enough of a head start on the other Newell. Actually, a Newell is, in a way, kind of a great monster, now that I think about it, to use that on. Because it'll keep itself in the game like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it will also... Yeah, I was going to say, now it's going to try to do what it shouldn't really try to do. If DamagedPlushie walks up into the line of sight of the Griffin, it might potentially snipe as well. If you ever see it, yeah, there you go.
Funnily enough, it snipes the Newell. That is one Holy Scroll monster down, unfortunately enough.
Yeah, you don't have to worry too much about the Griffins and stuff like that when you have multiple entries. But, like, on a first tower go, it's like, you're not... Okay, that's a good use of a Holy Bell. Because that way they can't follow. Problem is, Griffins can still snipe if they are aggroed. They'll walk to the front of the door, they'll walk back and forth, and if you happen to go there, they'll go, you know what? Yeah, there you go.
Here, that doesn't manage to happen. That is a comfort and a relief. Let us see.
That's the Kraken coming in that room, and I think it's actually following, yep.
Yep, unfortunately. And probably at this point, the Holy Bell probably won't still be in effect when she goes back to that room, but it does at least have multiple exits, and she can keep with the flow of monsters.
Yeah, that's actually another thing that's lesser talked about in commentary, is the monsters, they always keep their hand on the left-hand side of the wall, like if you were to do a maze. Because of that, you can kind of see how they would flow around the tower floor and generated. And
the exception is rooms.
Yeah, the rooms is kind of what mixes.
Just seem to be random.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like we know that how they travel. We can, juke Manevas. We can dodge them in hallways. We can do all sorts of different things. I would honestly still keep that for a potential plump ring.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, when it comes down to like how to, you got to take a hit no matter what, I think, because it's gonna come at you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could have gone the other way, but I think in this case, taking 2 hits, that is unfortunate.
Barring no traps.
Barring no traps should work out all right, and that will, I believe, take DamagedPlushie. I think DamagedPlushie still has to do 2 more floors, this one and the next one, to completion, in order to bring it home. Checking that fireball does not have any charge left.
I mean, because that would be the starter one that had 5 charges, and that means DamagedPlushie's been keeping track of it the entire time. When I'm pretty sure this is out, and if it was 1 left, throw it out, because at that point it's probably empty. But or making sure it was the one that isn't
empty
new.
One, yeah.
Ooh,
Aleem, that is very good to find here. That is one situation that DamagedPlushie can get out of.
Yeah, especially since it's still Kraken floors. They disappear at floor 16, and Honestly, they hang around for too long.
So does this run.
True, yes. Although both of them have been extremely on pace with each other for the most part.
For the most part.
kind of going queenless this entire run though for some reason.
Well, because I think Queen died like a while ago. Pretty sure, yeah. I think it was an early death to a pair of Manoevas in a doorway, I think.
Oh, was that what? Oh, yeah, okay.
Back on floor like 5. And so that's why DamagedPlushie a little bit behind here.
Although a lot of spell balls, though.
A lot of spell balls.
3 fires, acid rain, and repel, but, you know, we won the...
There's the end of that fireball. So 2 fireballs.
If you ever want to save time while getting rid of an item, have the item that's empty, use the real one. You'll automatically drop the one you're holding in your hand to use the real one, and you don't waste a turn dropping it. There's like small little things like that which can
yeah.
Also treasure loop to identify rooms, always useful.
Very handy. Won't identify all rooms for sure, because there can be rooms without treasure. Use a little aim. Sure about that, but fair enough. Oh, that's
a bad hallway.
That's a bad hallway.
Yeah, you don't want a 1 corridor hallway ever, especially. There we go. I think that's actually point.
I think we're on 14 at the moment. I think 15 is about to come up, which means that all DamagedPlushie has to do is get off of this next floor.
Mm-hmm.
Survive, make it to floor 16.
There's this horrible spawn room. There is a spell ball there. The DamagedPlushie does...
Probably a bad move. I'd whip out the acid rain and but like leave a little bit of space because acid rain's not going to clear a Garuda.
Yeah, but you can potentially... You have enough fireballs and stuff to get through this.
Yeah.
So, like, Sustainna did not have that luxury. No, Sustainna fought. Oh, Ice Rock Ball, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. I think we did see that Ice Rock Ball. I think if DamagedPlushie can make good use of that exit loop, there we go. That is what we want to see here. Hopefully going to be able to just book it. Yeah, I think that's just going to have to head that way, and DamagedPlushie is going to have to find another way up. That elevator so close and yet so far away.
Mm-hmm. It's actually what happened with Sustainna as well, is the way the floor layout worked is all the monsters just kept coming in front, and eventually it was just too much.
Yeah, that is something that can happen. And sometimes the flow of monsters is just not on your side. But it looks like DamagedPlushie staying alive. Going to continue on in this tournament.
Yep, there you go. GG DamagedPlushie.
We'll get them in. Probably get them in for an interview in a moment. I will be right back.
Sounds good. So good on both of them. Let me change. It's the winner. Do not click that button. I think done. Right? Is that what it does? They should get the interview links. If not, I will send an invite. But that was a wonderful set of games by both runners. Which again, anyone wants to follow, that's them. Honestly, like that is extremely brutal when it comes to just some of the luck. But it's always based on like how things are going to go.
Alrighty. Perfectly understandable. We will have them in just a second. That was a really intense match, very close.
Welcome,
Hello
Sustainna.
there. That must have been a nerve-wracking. Sustainna?
You there?
We're not hearing you. Are you muted? No, mic is on. I just don't know. Oh, what with that?
No, Sustainna's tech issues right now, we'll say.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Sustainna, if you can hear us.
Oh, no, I just realized I had everything muted.
There you go.
Okay, there we
It gave me a
are.
heart attack when I unmuted it.
This was fine. Congratulations on your matches.
Good
It was
job.
obviously not the ideal outcome. You didn't win for what you wanted, obviously. But honestly, some really great plays by you.
Mm-hmm.
Game one, honestly, the deciding factor when you guys watch this back will be the ice rock ball. Both of you. That caused you to die and caused DamagedPlushie to pull ahead at the last second.
Aww.
There's really a minute difference between both of you. And the ice rock ball was a deciding factor.
Aww. So close.
It was amazing.
It is, like, so neatly parallel
Yeah.
that it's very fun to see.
We're waiting for DamagedPlushie to get her invite.
In the meanwhile, thoughts on the seeds?
Not nearly as cursed.
Yeah, they're mine. Last time you played here, Sand Knight made them for you, right?
Let me just take out the hashtag blame Sand Knight off my feed.
There's always time to blame Sand Knight, though.
There's always, we'll find something.
Yeah, we will get DamagedPlushie in here.
If not now, then when?
There's always time.
Fine.
There's always time. There you go.
I'm so upset at that last misplay, though, because I misjudged my health. I thought I could survive one hit and then finish it off with a fireball, but I was wrong.
Yeah, the thing is, you also had a height disadvantage as well. Oh, so
Which
welcome,
I also
DamagedPlushie.
didn't realize till it was too late. Hello.
Oh,
Hi there.
Congratulations on the win.
congrats. We'll be
yeah,
moving on and facing another opponent next week. Yet to be determined.
You will be versing.
You or Wooga, or not Wooga, but Septic.
Septic, yeah.
Ah.
On that one, that'll be interesting as well. But yeah, Sand Knight has always reason to apologize. He's apologizing in chat for something, I don't know, but we all know we blame him for everything. DamagedPlushie, I gotta ask two questions.
Sure.
Very much Queenie-less round 3 for you.
Yeah, I'm
Were you
kind of
comfortable playing
mad at
that
the
way,
game
or-
right now. I prefer playing that way. Qn gives me something else to think about, and I'd rather not only have one thing to think about.
Fair enough. That honestly makes a lot of sense. You had a lot of resources. You got a couple Oleum fruits and stuff like that.
It's a good reason to not have children. One more thing not to think about.
I can agree with that. I'm happy with my misses.
I got so unlucky. I'm like, how many misses am I gonna have? I haven't been like cursed. Game, you're being silly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both of you had good luck and bad luck throughout your runs. The one thing I actually want to ask Sustainna is why Wind Queenie?
So my thought, I don't even remember my entire thought process, but I was thinking that I thought there was going to be more water elementals on that floor than there were. For some reason, I guess I was scared of the vipers.
Yeah, that's what we initially
maybe
thought as well.
Maybe it's some deeper trauma. I don't know. But
Yeah, 'cause
I'm like,
we
okay.
Vipers.
Unfortunately for you, like you literally changed Queenie to Wind. You're like, okay, let's fight, and it's Wee Dog, and then a Wee Dog, and then a Wee Dog.
And of course, it's nothing but wee dogs who show up, right?
No, then a Viper with a Wee Dog.
And a viper with a wee dog. I finally found it, but he brought uninvited guests.
Yeah, and then that's when obviously the ice rock ball. You walked
that was
into
the
it, and then
joke.
yeah,
That whole floor was a choke and a half.
yeah. Honestly, again, you guys were on pace with each other pretty much the entire 3 games.
Well, the last one there ended up being a pretty big difference due to the lack of Kuhn, but hey, that slow pace ended up paying off because it was very thoughtful and it let you survive for that long.
Yeah, and
There was monster trains.
Hey, I don't know what spirit of the tower possessed me in the second round, but I'm like, grinding? what's that? And I
I
just
know.
zipped through every floor as fast as I could, just for the sole purpose of seeing how far I could take it.
Yeah, you
Sustainna,
went up
we
to like floor
switched
14 or
places.
something.
We switch places. I am bloodthirsty. Must go to the next area right now.
So you also play with
We
Reckless
swapped.
Abandon.
I love it. It feels
Who
so
doesn't?
good. Dying is part of the experience of life, my dear.
Sustainna, the other thing I have to mention, I know you're out of the tournament now.
Mhm.
Please put Queenie behind you. You give me a heart attack having him follow you to the right.
Look, I've been trying to remember. I've been trying to remember.
Well, the
Oh,
warp
I-
trap kind of jogged your memory briefly as well during one of the matches.
No, 'cause
what
I
do y'all
remember
think about
yesterday-
the- Oh,
I'm
excuse
sorry,
me.
go ahead.
You first.
Because I remember after the tournament match, you're like, Sus, switch your AI. I'm
Yes.
like, wait, what's that? Oh, this.
That
It,
reminds us. Put Kyun behind you.
yeah. It's unfortunately just it's one of those things where like you have to get it ingrained. It does because again, if you hit a warp trap, you see where you were, versus if Queenie hits a warp trap, you have no idea if it's like one room beside you, across the entire floor. Queenie warp next to the elevator, you don't know.
I
And
got
it-
into the habit of that in casual because I just wanted to have one less thing to think about when it came to Q. It's like, you're behind me, you're not stepping off places. If I turn my character and skip a turn, he's going to be behind me. Like, I don't have to think about you. I like that.
That and also it also prevents him from walking aimlessly back and forth if you're in a hallway that doesn't allow him to be in his designated spot as well. And during game 1, actually, when you were getting chased by the monsters, that's where Queenie decided to get one space behind you because he tried to move where he was supposed to be, technically, causing a distance, and he was being tracked by the wee dog in the first part of the floor. Also, Wing Queenie is not as strong against, obviously, the wee dogs, but like it's really unfortunate for the 3 monsters that are on that floor. 4, really, because of Plumpos, I think.
I'm really disappointed in that floor too, because I felt like I had the makings of being able to reach 40 if I kept at it, because not only did I have like a Scarlet Wand, a decent shield with I think a sand, and a decent level, I also had a clown fused into it.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually one thing that you took time out and obviously tried to hatch it. You also hatched a volcano egg on floor 15, I believe it was.
I was hoping it was a Garuda so I could meme beam my way to the exit.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure DamagedPlushie, you identified the egg as a volcano, or a cloud, or you identified something with truth glasses and just never bothered to hatch it. But Sustainna was hatching every egg possible.
Oh, I had a Newell, and I'm like, you had time to hatch eggs? Wow. That must be nice.
I got really lucky with my egg rooms. I think I only got interrupted, once on the Newell egg.
Yes,
I had a
actually,
Newell egg, and I'm like, you're not doing me any good. I'm just gonna throw you at something eventually. But I forgot to use that holy bell. I thought about it. I went to the room, and then I was like, derp.
Yeah, there's a couple instances where you had a monster train on you. I think it's actually game 2, and you were in between like 3 Krakens or something by the end of it. And if you were to use the holy bell in the middle.
Oh wait, no, that was I've had 3 U-boats, 3 Krakens, 3 something or another on me. So many points. I don't.
Don't you
know
love
what's
that
going on
whenever
now.
you get a big train, it's water?
Yep.
Yep.
The hard, durable monsters that don't go anywhere. It's always fun. The Newell disrespect is unacceptable. Revan, I'm sorry, but it's true. Batnels are better. Just saying.
Pretty
Batnels
neat.
are better,
I
especially
like
with
a
20 level.
Newell in a casual play. He's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
It's even
will give it
funnier
that.
when you underflow.
Yes. Actually, to say that, someone in chat actually mentioned that you underflowed the Newell before casually, or Batnell before casually.
Yeah, when I streamed it casually on playthrough trying to get 100%, so all monsters, at the end of it, I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm going to show you something funny.
Yeah, and an indestructible monster, but that can be brainwashed. That's the problem.
Brainwashed or chaos, and just
Yeah.
360 no scopes you in the face.
Yeah, I lost my first ever bookless run to that one.
Oh.
But anyway, I'm not going to keep speed gaming too long. Is there anything you guys want to say about?
That was a really fun match overall.
Yes, it was fun. Thank you, Sustainna.
Thank you. And thank you,
Also-
Sand, for not making these seeds. I know you're listening.
Sandite actually was in chat, quote unquote, blessing the seeds before they came up. So if there was any bad luck, you can blame him.
The misses and the traps were not friendly.
No, and there's a couple of like the final room, like floor 15, was like 2 Garudas and a troll with a sword. That's actually where Sustainna died, just due to some miscalculations on HP value. It was really neat because, like, obviously, depending on RNG and how things move, they all stayed asleep on DamagedPlushie side. And then she used the acid rain ball and started just murdering things and chucking things out. It was like, oh, okay, I guess we can see the rest of the floor now because we never saw you leave that room. So then DamagedPlushie also had an escape loop as well, just to end the tower.
I also have no idea why the acid rainbow did not work on the Garudas.
They're wind, and just because of that, they have a higher resistance to do the elemental triangle. It's a water-based spell.
So it doesn't hit them at all?
No, it hits them. They just had
It
more
didn't.
health.
I promise it didn't hit them.
It should. It should be close to...
I think, isn't it bugged where sometimes it just doesn't show damage values on
Yes. Because it's supposed to be like a one-shot KO kind of thing.
Also, don't throw anything against a wall.
Gaming Raiders, unfortunately, this race is over.
Yep, we're literally wrapping up.
Just wrapping up.
Anyway, if you guys want to follow the wonderful runners that you guys did not watch race, please follow the runners here. We're the commentators, and then we don't have the thing, but we do have... I'll type it properly. We do have the Azure Speedrun Discord link as well. Thank you to SpeedGaming, so always been wonderful to host and work with. Thank you to the runners. It's been absolutely wonderful commentating your run, even if it's plus 40 in my computer room right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I am retreating to the basement after this.
Can.
Anyway,
thank you so much.
Yeah, stay
Bye,
safe,
everybody.
Everyone, take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hydrate. Bye-bye.